Hello, and thank you for joining our Chief Architect X5 building demonstration. My name is Jenna, and I'll be presenting today. We also have Emily with us, and she'll be answering your chat questions. You can ask questions at any time using the chat feature, and I'll show you how this process works in just a minute. The quality of rendering over the internet is not as good as when the software is installed on your computer, and there may be a delay in what you see on your screen versus what I'm saying. If you experience a severe delay, just send a chat message and I'll pause for a moment to allow the visual to catch up. Today we will be using Chief Architect X5 Premiere, and we'll go over product options at the end of the presentation. First, I'd like to cover setting up your audio. If you have computer speakers, select the Use Mic and Speaker Radio option. If you have difficulty hearing, click on the audio setup and select the correct speaker option. If you still have problems hearing, click on the Use Telephone button, and a phone number and access code will show for you to use. To ask a question, type your question in the bottom box and click Send. Your question and reply will display in the box above. If you don't see this control panel, it might be minimized. It minimizes to this little icon that will locate to the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Click on the orange arrow to restore the full panel. Today we will be going over the program overview. We'll draw out walls and I'll show you how to dimension. We'll place doors and windows. We'll create a basic kitchen design and a little bit of interior design. We'll add a foundation and a roof, and we'll be changing the roof style. We'll then add landscaping, a sloped lot, a deck. We'll cover framing and how CAD and layers work within Chief Architect. And at the end, we'll generate a material list and we'll create construction documents. If you have any questions throughout, just send in a chat message to Emily. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So what you see here is our Chief Architect Premiere X5 program. At the top of our screen, we have our toolbar. This is the default toolbar. So we have our Select Objects. Next to the Select Objects, we have a Straight Wall tool. And then we have Curved Wall, a Deck Railing, and so forth. And I'll go over all these toolbars throughout the presentation. On the right-hand side of your screen, you see that we have our Library Browser. This is where all of our Chief Architect core catalogs, bonus catalogs, manufacturer content, or any custom-made content is stored. Within our toolbar, the first tool is our Straight Wall option. When I select the Straight Wall tool, I have a variety of other tools appear on the right-hand side. This is called our Parent-Child option. If you're using the trial version, or you just don't have this default setup, you can change this in your preferences. Open up the preferences. Under Appearance, you can change the toolbar from a drop-down menu or the parent-child. So with that straight wall selected, we have our straight exterior wall, straight interior, a foundation wall, slab footing, pony wall, railing, half wall, and an invisible wall. I'm going to start by using our Straight Exterior Wall tool, and I'll bring my cursor down into our grid and just click and drag. Notice the temporary dimensions that appear. I'm not going to do the exact amount, I'm just going to estimate this wall length, and I'll just click and drag at the corner and make our way around to create a basic living area. I get an indicator letting me know that my walls are parallel, so then I'll just bring this fourth wall up, snap it together, and when I do that, I get a living area that's generated for me down below. This will include the square footage. So now that we've created our basic living area, let's take a look at this in a 3D view. You can take 3D views by selecting the camera option at the top of the screen. Here we have our full camera, our full overview to include a roof, our floor overview, which is more of a dollhouse view, and our framing overview. I'll select our floor overview, and here's what we have. You get a whole different toolbar that's generated when you're in a 3D view. So next to our Select Objects, we have a Move Camera with Mouse tool. This allows me to orbit this 3D model. I can also zoom in and out in my design using the scroll wheel on my mouse. So everything you see here, including the siding, the floor material, the wall color, my base molding, this has all been defined in my default settings. So you can set your defaults up to be whatever you'd like before you begin your plan. Let's get out of this 3D view and talk about defaults. To exit out of a 3D view, I'll select the gray X in the upper right-hand corner. To get into your defaults, I'll double-click on our Straight Wall tool. This will bring up my default settings for all my different wall styles. I'll double-click Exterior Interior, and here I can choose from a predefined wall type, such as brick, ICF, SIP walls, or I can select Define and create my own wall type. I can then save this wall type and use it in the future. We'll cancel out of this dialog. And let's go ahead and draw some interior walls. So with our Straight Wall tool still selected, I'll select our straight interior wall. Click and drag inside my design, and the walls will automatically bump together. So the blue walls represent our exterior and the yellow for our interior. You can also make changes to these colors. Let's go ahead and double-click on this interior wall, and I want to make a change. So when you double-click within anything within Chief Architect, it'll bring up the specification dialog where I can make changes. So under the wall type, I'm going to select firewall. I'll select OK, and now let's make this area a garage. I'll double-click on this room. Under the General tab, I'll specify garage for my room type. And you can see that my room label appears with my dimensions. Let's talk about dimensions for a minute. So within the toolbar at the top of the screen, we have automatic dimension tools, which are new to Chief Architect X5, and our normal dimension tools. So let's start with our automatic dimension tools. We have our Auto Exterior, Auto Interior, and NKBA Auto Dimensions. So if I select Auto Exterior Dimensions, with one click I get all of my exterior dimensions generated. I'm just going to go ahead and undo this. I'm going to change the dimensions a different way. So I can select a wall and either change the dimension of that wall, we'll make this 90 feet, and I'll specify the foot marker, or the program will default to inches. And I'll hit Enter on my keyboard for that update. With that same wall still selected, I can select the perpendicular dimension and type in 30 feet and hit Enter. Now let's just go ahead and make this garage area 32 feet. Alright, that looks pretty good. You can also specify different dimensioning defaults. If you use metric units, you can certainly specify that. If you're a kitchen designer and you just want that to default to inches, you can do that also. So there's lots of different options available, and you can double-click on the dimension default to get to that category. You can do secondary formats, you can choose where your dimensions locate to. It's lots of different options. Now that we've changed this room to a garage, let's take a look at this in a 3D view just to see what we've done. So you can see that in the 3D view, I now have a slab. This is what I've specified to be my garage default. So you can certainly set up your own room defaults, so then when you change that room type, all those defaults will automatically appear. Back into our 2D view, I'm going to draw some basic interior walls and just map out the floor plan. So I'm just clicking and dragging, letting the walls snap together. Let's draw a little room going into our garage also. Alright, so now we can go back and dimension once the basic floor plan is laid out. I'll select a wall, select the dimension, type in the dimension, and hit Enter. And I'll just make my way around the plan doing these changes. You can specify whether you want your dimensions to locate from interior to interior, interior to exterior, and so forth. And you'll specify all of that within your default settings. So we'll make this wall 7 feet 6 inches. You don't have to specify the inches marker. The program will automatically default to that. Let's just zoom in and change this wall to 2 feet 6 inches. Alright, so now we'll get into our 3D view and place some doors and windows. You can place doors, windows, cabinets in both a 2D and a 3D view. So we'll go ahead and place these in a 3D view. I'll select our door tool at the top of our screen and select our hinge door, a doorway, sliding door, pocket door, bifold, and a garage door. I'll just start with our basic hinge door and bring my cursor down into my plan. I get an indicator of where that door will be placed, and I'll click once when I know where I want it to be. We'll go ahead and add a doorway and a few sliding doors. Now let's go ahead and add some windows. Within our window tools, we have our standard window, bay, box, bow, and a pass-through tool. I'll just select our standard window, and I'm just going to click to place these. I've specified shutters to be on my windows. This is certainly something that you can change within your window defaults. Place a few in the garage. And while we're in this view, let's get into our library browser and add an entry door. So you can set up your own catalog within Chief Architect. All these items that I'm placing are just items that I have saved from the generic catalog. I just don't want to search through the catalog, so I just saved into my own folder. But if you've imported any 3D items, they'll be saved here, or if you've modified any of our items, you can build up your own catalog. I'll start with this entry door and just click to place. Now let's zoom in on our, we'll call this our bathroom and closet area. And I'll show you that you can change room types in a 3D view also. So under the room type, we'll change this to bathroom. And now my flooring has been updated. Let's also make a change to this window in our closet. So the first thing I'll do is change the window type to a left sliding, and we'll change the height to 18 inches. Moving over to our Lights tab, we'll just remove the lights in the windows, and we'll also remove the shutters. So now this pretty much looks like what I want it to look like, so we'll hit OK, and I can see that update. Let's get back into our 2D view and finish placing our windows and doors. So we'll zoom in on this area going into our garage and place a few doors. Using my standard door, I'm just going to click down, and before I let go of that click, I can move my mouse around to change the hinge side and the swing side. Although I'm placing the same door going into the garage, the program will note that it's going into an exterior living space, and it'll adjust that door accordingly. We can also select this bifold door, select and drag it out for our closet. There's a few other ways of changing the hinge side and swing side. You can select a door that's already been placed, find this triangle arrow, and rotate the door around. Or you can select the door, and I'll select these at the same time using the Control key on our keyboard. And when the door is selected, we have a change opening hinge side and swing side option. Let's place one more door in here, and we'll actually select that door and take our arrow to drag it out to create double doors. Let's just see how that looks. So this time, using my full camera, I'm going to click where I'm standing in my room and drag to my focus point. And here's what we've created so far. Let's make some modifications to these doors. I'll double-click on this door and change the width to 6 feet. Under the door style, I'm going to choose a door from our library. So we have our glass panel. We'll just browse through our French doors. Once I find the one I like, I can see a 3D and a 2D preview. And when I hit OK, I also get a preview here. Under the Options tab, under 3D Display, let's choose to show the door open. So now, in my 3D view, I get a realistic view of what the inside of that room will look like. Double-click on our doorway and make a similar change. Make this 6 feet. And let's add an arch. We'll go ahead and add a broken arch, 12 inches. And I like the way that looks, so we'll go ahead and exit out of this 3D view. And let's go ahead and add some garage doors. So you can select the garage door that's within the door tools. I'm just going to use this one that I have found within the library. I'll double click on this door and change the width to 16 feet. We'll just move that over, and in order to center these up, I'm going to multi-select on both doors, and we have a cool tool at the bottom of our screen called Center Objects. This will allow me to center anything within inside the room. Those were already pretty centered. Let's go over to this doorway and do the same thing. So I'll select the doorway, select Center Objects, and move the door in the room. And that will automatically center. Let's move on to our kitchen design. We'll create a basic L-shaped kitchen design using our cabinet tools. So within our cabinet tools, we have our base cabinet, wall cabinet, full height, soffit tool, shelf and partition, custom countertop, and a custom counter hole for any sort of custom sink that you create. Using our base cabinet tool, we'll place our mouse in the corner of our walls, and as we drag our mouse closer and closer to the corner, you see that we have a corner cabinet that appears. I'll click once to place. And I'll just make my way around, creating this basic design. If I want to change the dimensions, I'll just click on the cabinet and drag this out using my arrow. So you can modify the cabinet labels if you'd like to. We just have this set up for a base 24-inch cabinet with a right side hinge. We'll make this 36 inches for our sink base. And then let's add a full height cabinet over here. And we'll just drag this out to 33 inches. Now we'll go ahead and place our wall cabinets. I'm going to start in the corner again and just make room right here for our hood. Alright, so now let's look at this in our 3D view. So here's what we've created so far. It's really easy to go back and make changes to these cabinets. So I'll double click on this base cabinet. Under the front tab, I'll uncheck diagonal door and add a Lazy Susan. And we'll make a similar change to this wall cabinet. Notice that all my base cabinets have doors. I'd like to make this base cabinet be a bankment of 3 drawers. So by opening up the cabinet, I can make lots of different changes. I'll just select this door in our vector view here. And under the item type, we'll change this to a drawer. We'll make the height of that 9 inches. Then I'll select this blank area and create another drawer. You can also make changes to the door style, the handle styles, the sides and backs, add any moldings that you'd like or accessories such as pilasters or feet. So I'll go ahead and just click OK, and you can see that that updated to 3 drawers. Let's go ahead and add some appliances. So from within my library, I'll just choose the appliances that I've already have added here. All of these were found within our generic library. So I'll just click to place our refrigerator. And with our dishwasher, I'll just click inside the cabinet. It will automatically make room for that appliance in there and update in your material list. We'll add our range. And we'll go ahead and add a hood above that range. I'll double click on the hood and change this to 60 inches, and I'm going to use the floor finish so it meets up with the top of our cabinets. We'll add a double oven inside our full height cabinet, and we'll add our undermount sink. New to Chief Architect X5 is the ability to create numerous door and drawer styles within a single cabinet. You can also place numerous appliances in a single cabinet. Let's go ahead and add some cabinets in our 3D view. We'll add a full height and a wall cabinet above our refrigerator. Let's go ahead and also add a window above this sink. So I'll double click on the window to make some changes. I'd like to go ahead and remove the lights, and we'll change this to a left sliding. So currently, I'm looking at the view from the exterior. You can choose to look at the view from just the interior also. So I'll hit OK. And with the window selected, we'll use that Center Object tool again and just center the window right above our sink. We'll get back into our 2D view here, and I'm just going to take this cabinet and drag this out just a bit. I've created an island from scratch and blocked it together and added it to my library. This is called an architectural block. So it's a group of items all blocked together to create one item. We'll dimension this architectural block to our base cabinets, 4 feet on either side. And now let's go ahead and explode this architectural block using the tool at the bottom of our screen. And now I can make changes to each individual component. So let's say that I've changed the bar stools and now I want to make it one item again. I'll just marquee around the whole item and block it together. At this point, you can choose the Add to Library tool and add this to your library. So you can block entire rooms together or furniture sets of any sort. I like using this option. It's a good time saver. We'll get back into our 3D view. And notice that the materials don't quite match up. So we'll go ahead and use our material eyedropper. We'll pick up our black granite material and just paste it on our countertop. So notice that it just changed that one component, just the countertop. That's because I'm in a Material Painter component mode. If I move into Object mode, it will change the countertop and backsplash. If I move into the Room mode, it will change all the countertops in the entire room. We also have the option to change material for the entire floor or the entire plan. Using the material eyedropper again, I'll pick up this white material and with Room mode selected, paste it on the rest of our cabinets. So within the library, I've already found a wall color that I'd like to add. So you can find all sorts of different colors, textures, materials from within the core library, and just click once to paste it on the walls. You can also change the different flooring material. So I can just click to paste and see how that looks. And using our Adjust Material Definition tool, I can open up this material, and under the Pattern and Texture, we'll just make this a 45-degree angle. When I hit OK, it's just asking me if I'd like to save this material, which I do. And now it's diagonal. So lots of different elements that you can add to your design. One more thing that I'd like to show you in the kitchen is the ability to add a backdrop. So within our Chief Architect Core Catalog, we have lots of different backdrops that you can add. These are just images, JPEG images, so you can certainly take a picture of what you actually look out onto in your own lot. Just import the JPEG and click inside the window to apply it. Then you can move your 3D image around to get the realistic view you're looking for. At the top of our screen, you can see that we're currently in a standard 3D view. We also offer a vector view, and you can toggle the color on or off. Glass house, duotone, technical illustration, painting, watercolor, and line drawing. So lots of different 3D rendering techniques that you can use. Move back to our standard view, and one thing I do want to show you is our ray trace rendering. So these are high photorealistic rendered images that you can create within Chief Architect Interiors and Chief Architect Premiere. So it brings out the reflection in the glass, sunlight through the windows. It will really give you a realistic view of what the design will look like. You have sun angles, a north pointer, so you can get the look that you're going for. You can add all these different accessories to your design. Here's a bathroom. And this wine cellar was used creating the cabinet tools, shelves, and partitions. So all those tools I used in the kitchen also work in the bathroom and other areas, custom closets. So they're not just for the kitchen. Here is a plan set that was created for a kitchen design. You can add all of your finished materials, a 3D rendered image, all of your elevations, your cabinet schedules, and so forth. We'll go ahead and exit out of this slideshow and get back into our 2D view. We'll move on to our bedroom area. So an architectural block that I've created is our contemporary bed with tables. So I'll just click and place that in the room. And now let's get into our electrical tools. Within our electrical tools, we have our 110 volt outlet, 220 volt, our standard light, switch, connect electrical, and our auto place outlets. I'll select the auto place outlets and click once within the plan. If you want to move those outlets around, you can do that, or you can hit backspace or delete on your keyboard to remove it. We'll add a few lights. I've specified a recessed light to be my default, but there are so many other lighting options available in the library that you can set your default up to be whatever you'd like. We'll add a few switches, and then using our Connect Electrical tool, I'll just click and drag. You can also move these electrical connections around. Looking at this in a 3D view, you can see that our backdrop is carried over to our bedroom. You can see the lights and the switches, the outlets, everything has appeared in this 3D view. So there's a lot going on in our plan right now. Let's get into our layer sets and talk about layers within Chief Architect. The Display Options area at the top of our screen will bring up all of our layer display options. So you can see that these are all the layers that are being used. These are the layers that are being displayed. And you can also choose whether it shows up in the material list or not. And of course, you can change the color. So let's go ahead and just remove some of these layers for right now. Just turn them off. We'll turn off our architectural blocks and our cabinet labels. We'll turn off our door labels, our electrical tools, room labels, window labels, and I think that's about it. So we'll hit OK, and you can see that the plan is drastically cleared up for us. So now I'd like to move on and talk about our foundation. At the top of the screen, we have our floor tools. Here we have Build New Floor, Build a Foundation. You can insert a new floor, delete a floor. We'll go ahead and build our foundation. We'll select Auto Rebuild Foundation, and here I can choose my foundation type, whether I want walls with footings, walls with piers, or a slab. If I'm going to create a basement, I'll just change this minimum stem wall height. Everything looks okay for my design, so I'll hit OK. And this will automatically bring us down to floor 0, which is our foundation level. I can go up to floor 1, and while still in my floor tools, we'll just build a new floor. And the program is asking if I'd like to derive my second floor plan from my first floor plan, or if I want to draw a brand new one. I'll just go ahead and derive it, so I'll hit OK. And under the Structure tab, I can select or unselect ceiling over this room to create cathedral ceilings. We'll hit OK, and this will automatically bring us up to floor 2. So it's looking a lot like when we first started. We'll go ahead and turn on our reference display on the right-hand side of our screen. And this will bring up a display of everything I've done on floor 1. So we'll go ahead and bring this wall in to expose the garage, and go back down to floor 1 and build some stairs. So using our stair tools, we have straight stairs, our one-click stairs, which I'll show you going onto the deck in just a little bit. We have our curve to the left and the right, a ramp, and a landing tool. So I'll select our straight stairs and just click and drag. I'll click and drag again going this way, and click in the middle to create a landing. I can then double-click on the staircase and change my tread information, newels and balusters, handrail, the style of staircase. You have all sorts of staircase options. In our 3D view, you can see that we need to add a stairwell. So I'll select our stairs, and at the bottom of our screen, add Auto Stairwell. This will automatically cut an opening into our second story. I'm going to go into a split view, camera view right now. So when you're in a 3D view, you can select the Window tab and tile vertically. This allows you to work in both a 2D and a 3D view. We'll go ahead and add some stairs underneath, or some walls underneath the staircase. So I'll select our interior wall and just click and drag. We'll add one more wall. And you can see that now I have walls underneath my stairs. So I can go ahead and add a door in this view. We can open it up, show the door open. So now you can have some storage underneath your staircase. So lots of different options to get the realistic view you're looking for. We'll go ahead and exit our 3D view and just get into our full overview right here. Next to our floor tools, we have our roof tools. Here we have our automatic build roof, manual roof plane, ceiling plane, gable roof line, skylight, dormer, and you can fix or delete the roof. I'll select the automatic build roof and select build roof planes, and I'm going to ask the program to automatically rebuild as I make changes. Here you can make changes to the pitch and the overhang, the framing, ridge caps, shadow boards, which are new to the Chief Architect X5, the ridge caps and corner boards and things like that. Under the roof styles, you can choose whether you want a hip roof, a gable, shed, salt box, gambrel, gull wing, half hip, mansard, or dormer roof. We'll go ahead and place a hip roof, but we'll be changing it to a gable. Then we'll also add some dormers in just a moment. I'll hit OK, and you can see the green dashed lines that appear serve as my roof planes. So I can select a wall in my 2D view, and at the bottom of our screen, we have a Change to Gable Wall tool. So that with one click, we'll change that wall to a gable. Now let's look at that in a 3D view and see just what we changed. So you can see the gable that was changed. You can also make that change in a 3D view. We rotate around to this side of the house. I can open up the wall. Under the Roof tab, select Full Gable Wall. Does the same thing, it's just another way of doing it. Alright, so now that we're in this view, we'll go ahead and split our screens again so that we're working in both views. We'll go ahead and add some dormers. That's within our roof dialog. We have our auto floating dormer. So I'll just click once to place the dormer. And here you can make dimension changes to the dormer, where the dimension or where the dormer locates to. At the bottom of the screen, I'm going to select Copy and Paste and just make a copy. Make one more copy. And in our 3D view, let's just select these windows and remove the shutters. We'll go back down to floor 1 and turn off our reference display. Using our deck tools, I want to create a small deck around our front entrance. So I'm just going to click, just like we did with the wall tools, and place our deck. I can then dimension this deck. We'll make this 10 feet by 30 feet. Alright, so you can see the deck that appears in our 3D view. I'll go ahead and open up the deck and select Roof over this room. So that will add a roof for us. I'll select these deck railings and change them both to gable. And open up this roof plane and change the pitch to 4 and 12. Now let's go ahead and open up each of these deck railings and change them to post to beam. So we'll select our rail style, make our change. So now that roof will be supported. Alright, so from this point I would like to, we'll add some windows on our second story while we're in this view. We can just move these windows up just a little bit. Alright, so now let's go ahead and move on to our terrain. Within our 2D view, I'm going to create the terrain. I'll select terrain at the top of our screen and create terrain perimeter. So this will generate an automatic perimeter for us. I'll just drag this in to where I'd like it. Make it a little bit larger. Like a big backyard. Alright, I'll double click on our terrain and uncheck Auto Calculate Elevation. I'm going to create a sloped lot here. So the best way to do this is to get into your terrain configuration tools. This is just a different toolbar configuration set that will bring up all of our terrain tools. If you're a kitchen and bath designer, you can move into that configuration set. So within our terrain tools, we have elevation tools, decks and fencing, driveways, sidewalks. We'll move into our elevation tools where we can add elevation points and lines. I'll go ahead and just add 2 elevation regions. So I'll just click and drag over 2 different regions. And I'll double click on this back area and make it -50 feet. We can open up this area and let's see. We'll go ahead and just leave that one at 0. Alright, so now in this view, you can see that the terrain is now sloped. We'll go ahead in just a moment and we'll go ahead and add a fence. Alright, so we'll select our fencing tools and just click and drag. This works just like the deck tools and the wall tools. Just click and drag, and notice that when I come around on this side, the fence will follow the terrain, so I don't have to make any special changes for that. We'll go ahead and add a driveway. And within our 3D view, we'll add some stairs going onto our deck. For this, I'm going to use our one-click stairs. So under the Build tool, I'll come down to our stairs and add our click stairs. Click right outside the deck railing, and you can see the stairs that were generated. We'll just make these a little bit larger. And you can always use your material eyedropper to match up the colors. Alright, so it's coming along pretty well. Let's go ahead and make this driveway area a little bit longer. We'll add a sidewalk going from our front entrance to our driveway. So we'll select our sidewalk tool, and I'll just click and drag this around. Within our library, I've created a flower bed. This is an architectural block that I have blocked together all of these plants, and I've added it to my library. So we can go ahead and rotate this around, and I'll show you what this looks like. So you can add all sorts of different flower beds if you'd like to. Within our configuration set that we're in, we can also select our plant tools. In here we can select our plant chooser. Let's rotate around in this view so you can see. We'll select our plant chooser. Here you can search by common name or scientific name, flower color, leaf color, bloom time. You can change the height at maturity. You can also view our hardiness zone map. So Chief Architect is headquartered in the western USA, all the way up here in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. So you can see that our colors are probably zones 5 and 6. You can also specify whether you're in Alaska or Hawaii, Europe, Mexico, so you can definitely change your different region. So now that I know my zones are 5 and 6, I'll hit search. And now all of the plants that can grow in my area will appear. So I'll just browse through and see which plant I'd like to add. We'll go ahead and add this one. So now I'll just close that chooser since it'll bring me to the correct area within the library. And I'll just click to place a few trees. So we'll open up this 3D view, and you can see just how realistic you can get within your views. We'll go ahead and exit out of this 3D view, and let's focus on our framing. We'll move back into our default configuration set, and next to our roof tools, we have our general framing tools. Here we have our build framing, general framing, post, reference marker, bearing line, and joist direction. I'll select our auto build framing and start at our foundation level. I'll choose automatic floor to ceiling framing and just move our way up. Building our second story framing, we'll do our wall framing and our roof. It's asking if I'd like to display these layers, and I do not want to for right now. Next to our layer options at the top of our screen, we have our default set that we're currently in. You can definitely change this set if you're just working with electrical or just framing, for instance. You can move into these different sets. You can go up and down between floors to see all of our framing. We can also view our framing in a 3D view. So I can rotate the model around, zoom in, I can make changes to each individual framing member, or I can also do this in a 2D view. Under the Tools option at the top of the screen, you have the ability to generate a material list. You can calculate this material list from all floors, a specific area, a specific room, or you can create a master list where you can enter in your pricing. I'll calculate our material list from all floors. In here, under the general area, it will give us our heating information, foundation, framing, siding. Go all the way down the list here, all of our cabinets, our trim. We'll even go into the detail for our fixtures, appliances, electrical, and so forth. Under the display options, you can choose to add or remove different categories or add or remove columns, such as markup or labor. The material list can be exported into a text file, CSV, Excel, or an HTML. So you don't have to keep the material list within Chief Architect. We'll cancel out of our material list, and I'm not going to save it. We'll then get back into our default set. Let's move on and talk about our construction drawings. So these are called layout pages, and you can generate a new layout page by going to File, New Layout. So here you can enter in all of your own company information. You'll do that on page 1. So page 1 is kind of your default layer. So anything that you put on page 0 will translate onto all your other pages. So you'll want to start putting your designs on page 1. We have rich text tools, revision clouds. You can dimension, add your own different kinds of title blocks. We'll just tab back over to our floor plan. And let's get rid of some layers so we can send our floor plan to our layout page. We'll remove our architectural blocks, our terrain, remove our roof planes, fence, and plants. Next to the print option at the top of the screen, we have Send to Layout. This will allow us to scale. 1/4 inch is what I would like, but you can certainly make changes to this. and we'll send this to layout page 1. Once I have my floor plan on this page, I can bring this in to remove my decks and driveway. Next to our standard camera tools, we have our orthographic view tools. Here we have our cross-section elevation, back-clipped cross-section, wall elevation, orthographic full, floor, and framing overview. Using our cross-section elevation, I'll just click and drag to the front of the house. And here we have all of our layers turned on again since we're in a different view. So let's just go back and remove some of these. Remove our door and window labels, plants, fence, and terrain. All right, in this elevation view, you can toggle the color on or off. You can also make changes in your elevation view, so you can move things around, and if you save these views, anything that you change here will also translate into your floor plan and your layout page. Within the library, we have tons of different CAD details that are included. These are under CAD blocks, CAD details. So you can see all the ones that we have available. I'll go ahead and just zoom in on this CAD detail, and you can see all the different components. This is an architectural block, so feel free to break up this block, make changes, block it back together, save it to your library, and build up your own catalog of CAD details. We'll go ahead and send this elevation view over to our layout page. And the Chief Architect layout pages can be printed as large as 36 by 42. You can change all your different scaling. You can add text, different legends, title blocks. So you have all sorts of flexibility in your design. I want to show you a few things on the Chief Architect website. Alright, so X5 is now available. It's our brand new version just released. So if you haven't done so already, you can feel free to download a trial version of this on our homepage. We have a trial version of our Premier and Interiors product, and you don't have to download both of them. Everything in the Interiors is included in the Premier. If you want to sign up for more online demonstrations, you can also do so at the bottom of our homepage. Under the Products drop-down menu, we have a Compare Products area. This allows you to browse through and compare our 3 different professional product lines right next to each other. Under the User Center, we have Catalog Downloads. So here we have all of our bonus and manufacturer catalogs you can add to the program if you have our support and software assurance. So we have lots of different cabinet manufacturers, furniture, grouped rooms, plants, millwork, and so forth. So you can come here and browse through what we have. All right, so let's see, what else? In the User Center, we have a Sample Gallery. This is a good area to come if you want to watch additional demonstrations. If you have the trial version, you can download the actual Chief Architect plan and play around with it. We have a PDF of the construction document. You can also view different renderings that we've done using Chief Architect X5. Under the Support drop-down, we have a Help database. This is a great resource if you want to see different articles that we've put together for our different Chief Architect versions. So you can browse through an entire index of article. You can search for something specific. Let's see, how to edit architectural blocks. We talked about that. So you can just browse through here, and there's an article step-by-step with pictures that will show you how to do this. So if you're ever kind of lost or not sure, you want to learn something new, check out the Help database. Lots of good information. We also offer a Chief Talk Professional Forum. This is for our Chief Architect users to get together and talk about different Chief Architect stuff. You can find users in your area. This is a great resource as well. Once you're a customer, you can watch nearly 500 online training videos that are accessed through the website. So today I was using Chief Architect Premier X5. This is for full residential and light commercial design. We also have a Chief Architect Interiors package, which is for kitchen and bath designers and interior designers. We then have a light version, which is for drafting and smaller projects. Along with each of these software purchases, we have our support and software assurance. This is a yearly benefit package for $395 a year. It includes priority technical support, access to online training videos. You can download those manufacturer and bonus catalogs that I showed you. It includes new version releases and discounts on training seminars and additional licenses. We offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all the new license purchases and upgrades. So if you're running an older version of Chief Architect and you'd like to upgrade, you can do so risk-free for 30 days. So if you haven't done so, download that newest trial version, whether you're a current customer with an older version or a brand new customer. The trial version is a full-blown version of the software. You can play with everything and check it out. If you have any questions, you can contact us via email at sales@chiefarchitect.com or by phone using our toll-free or local number. If you have any last-minute questions, Emily will be on for just a few more minutes. Type your question in the bottom box and click send. If you don't see this control panel, click the orange arrow at the top of your screen to restore it. Thank you so much for attending. It was great to go over the software with you. If you have any last-minute questions, let us know or email or give us a call. And have a great weekend. Thank you.